Is the future of the Avengers keeping you up at night? We've got some good news for you. Captain Marvel is here to the rescue, and in this video, we're gonna tell you why. With Avengers Endgame in the books, the future of the Avengers is now up for debate. While Endgame definitely delivered some awesome moments, including an epic ending, it left a lot of questions as to where the MCU will go next. With the dust now settled, it's safe to say that the biggest question mark is who will take over the reins of leading the team. With Tony Stark out of the game, the Avengers are going to need a new leader for any future installments in the franchise. That being said, it's no easy job to lead an all-star superhero team tasked with defending Earth from all threats. Tony Stark definitely left some big shoes to fill, and it's going to take a special hero to live up to his legacy. Although there are a few solid candidates for the role, there is one in particular who stands above the rest. We're talking about none other than the resident Kree warrior and galactic savior, Captain Marvel. If you're wondering why Carol Danvers takes the cake in this one, it's because she's undoubtedly the most powerful character in the MCU. Let me explain by drawing your attention to a couple key moments in the last Avengers flick. First to consider is the scene where Tony Stark is lost in space at the very beginning of Endgame. At a point when Iron Man is considered gone forever by the rest of the Avengers, Captain Marvel is the hero who defies the odds and saves him. In fact, she doesn't just rescue him, she performs an incredible feat of strength and carries his ship all the way back to safety on Earth. I mean, that's an example of her literally putting the team on her back. In hindsight, perhaps Stark being awoken by Danvers' bright aura had a deeper meaning than fans could have expected at that time. Like an early metaphor for the passing of the torch that could follow, Captain Marvel is the future, and she's shining bright. To get to what is probably the best example of Danvers' pure might, let's fast forward to the epic battle she has with Thanos, enemy-in-chief of the Avengers at the conclusion of Endgame. Going into this fight, Thanos had previously defeated the Incredible Hulk, a character renowned for his brute strength and had easily dispatched Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor all at the same time. Given his track record, it looks like Thanos is going to be unstoppable until Captain Marvel decides that enough is enough. Effectively proving that size isn't everything, Captain Marvel comes in and kicks Thanos' butt, helping to save the universe in the process. During the exchange, Thanos lays out a massive headbutt, a move that would finish off the majority of beings in the galaxy. However, Marvel lives up to her name and barely flinches, impressing audiences worldwide as a result. It isn't until Thanos uses the Power Stone that he's able to get the upper hand over Danvers. But by that point, she had done her duty and prevented him from destroying the universe. With a fight like that under her belt, the name Captain Marvel is going to strike fear into the hearts of villains across the galaxy. As the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the Avengers, it's only logical that Captain Marvel should be their new leader as well. When you think of the most important qualities in a leader, wisdom may be the most desired. Accordingly, it's important to note here that there's more to Captain Marvel than just her impressive fighting strength. Carol Danvers is also tremendously intelligent and knowledgeable about the universe, a trait that most other Avengers can't claim to possess. It definitely helps that she has roots in a far-flung corner of the galaxy herself, having lived on the Kree Empire's capital planet of Hala. Thanks to her time and service to the Kree, Carol Danvers has an intimate knowledge of interplanetary politics, and knows there's a lot more to keeping the universe at peace than just focusing on Earth's problems. As is suggested in Endgame, Captain Marvel has made a habit of fighting to defend other planets, especially since, unlike Earth, most don't have their own super team to protect them. Plus, the consequence of most of the Avengers being from Earth is that they are therefore more suited for fighting in Earth's environment, and against villains from Earth. Now, as we've already seen in the MCU and even in the comics beforehand, the greatest threats to Earth's existence are usually coming from the outside. The villains produced in the rest of the universe are also absolutely terrifying, and tend to present nightmarish challenges for humans to have to conquer. Again, this is where Captain Marvel's expertise comes in. With her prior knowledge of the universe, she's not gonna get phased in the same way that other Earth-centric superheroes may get when faced with apocalyptic alien threats. She's extremely aware of alien capabilities given she was trained by an alien army, and she's exhibited a serious amount of bravery on multiple occasions while in combat with extraterrestrial forces. And it's easy to see why Danvers has formed a habit of flying off to space on a moment's notice despite the risks involved. She's got an incredible track record of taking on alien spaceships on multiple occasions, and winning. These battles do more than just display Captain Marvel's strength and agility. They also demonstrate just how high her skill and intelligence are in combat. Whether fighting alien armadas or taking on the universe's most evil villain, the trademark characteristic of Danvers is becoming her enthusiasm for entering sticky situations, no matter how difficult. All this is to say that often mental strength is an overlooked element in combat, and it's important to highlight that Captain Marvel has it in spades. When fighting, she is absolutely locked in and has learned not to display fear. As the famous saying goes, your worst enemy is yourself, but Carol Danvers appears to have defeated her self-doubt. How else could it be possible for her to give that epic stare down to Thanos? Some may argue that her lack of fear is a sign of foolhardiness, but so far Captain Marvel has repeatedly come out on top. As any self-help guru will tell you, success only becomes possible when you envision it. And Danvers is not afraid to imagine victories and then manifest them into reality. Captain Marvel illustrates her make-it-happen approach when she suggests that the Avengers should get the Infinity Stones back from Thanos in order to restore the lives he had destroyed. When many of the Avengers scoff at the suggestion, Danvers responds by saying that the team's past failure to do so was because they didn't have her on their side. That's a pretty confident response from a relatively new Avenger. Then she goes ahead and puts her money where her mouth is and, well, we all know who came out victorious at the conclusion of Endgame. Making a statement like that one makes it clear that Danvers has both the brains and the bravery to lead the group going forward. There's also another angle to consider in regards to Captain Marvel's mental strength. Like any superhero, she's had to face a lot of adversity throughout her development. Unlike many superheroes, however, her journey involved being deceived by those she thought had her best interests in mind. Indeed, Danvers' identity as Captain Marvel was forged through a personal crisis. She was forced to undergo the realization that the noble cause she thought she was fighting for was in fact a lie. Imagine the shame that Danvers must have experienced when she realized that the Kree army she was fighting for was actually oppressing the Skrulls. Perhaps the hardest pill to swallow in life is when you're forced to accept responsibility for your mistakes. In her case, Danvers dealt with the situation admirably by accepting the truth and apologizing to the Skrulls for her inadvertent wrongdoing. Showing her high level of maturity, Danvers then went even further by actually joining the Skrulls and pledging to support them in their quest for a safe place to live. What shows through in this story is that the most important incentive for Captain Marvel is achieving justice. On top of weathering a betrayal that would have mentally broken most people, Danvers was able to put her ego aside and commit herself to fixing the situation and righting her wrongs. This example showcases a very high degree of emotional intelligence on Danvers' behalf, which is really interesting to acknowledge. Here I want to remind you that her former Kree commander Jan Rog kept trying to suppress her emotions while training her. Although at times it may seem that Danvers is cocky, her origin story actually shows that she was only able to ascend to the height of her powers through channeling her own humanity and building her emotional strength. Captain Marvel's intelligence and bravery are unparalleled at this point, making her a shining example for other heroes to follow. With a hero as noble as that, it's hard to imagine a better character for the Avengers to rally around when joining forces again in the future. When considering the best candidate for any job, especially one as important as leader of the Avengers, it's important to go through the candidate's resume and see what kind of past experience they had handling similar responsibilities. In contrast to some of her competition for the position, Carol Danvers has a ton of experiences, and some awesome references to back her up. Case in point, not only has Captain Marvel been a key member of several comic book teams, she's been the leader of both the new Alpha Flight team as well as the Avengers themselves in the Mighty Avengers series. If that wasn't impressive enough, it's worth mentioning that in the Mighty Avengers series, she was actually recruited to be the leader by none other than Tony Stark. If Danvers can put together an awesome team in the comics, I think it's safe to say she can do it in the MCU as well. And speaking of the MCU, let's consider what her contribution has been to the film franchise so far. Now, given the groundbreaking nature of her character, the hope for Captain Marvel is that she can help expand the Marvel fan base to include new audiences. The popularity of her film showed that she's now playing a crucial role in helping continue Marvel's momentum worldwide. Thankfully, the high potential possessed by Carol Danvers is not lost on Marvel. In fact, they appear to be well aware of it. Included in Captain Marvel's behind-the-scenes footage was a clip where she was praised highly by Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios. Particularly exciting for fans is that he said Captain Marvel would be at the forefront of the MCU. Is it just me, or is he suggesting she'll be the next leader of the Avengers? With comments like that, I don't think you can blame us for putting two and two together. Personally, I'm most excited to see what the new Avengers are going to look like. Is there anyone you'd like to see join the team? Let us know in the comments below. Did you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more super-powered content. As always, thanks a lot for watching.